Hey guys, this is Christopher. Beth and I are driving through downtown Des Moines on our way to the Des Moines airport. Going to fly out to Columbia. Beth's dropped me off. I'm going to fly to Columbia tonight. Going to be in Columbia for about a week and a half, heading back to a city that I really love, Medellin, Colombia, with our church family there, Templo Belén, a wonderful Assembly of God church there. Got to doing a wonderful work, and this will be my first trip there myself, just to pour into that church and strengthen them, and really looking forward to what God's going to do. Some of you know we just got back, Pastor Dave and I, with just a small team. We got back from Panama a couple weeks ago and got an update yesterday of some testimonies, just some really cool stuff. And one of them was a guy, Edison is his name, and he had shared with me the first time I went to minister there, like in 2014. He'd come from a background where he didn't believe in any of this supernatural ministry at all, but God really got a hold of him at that time and began to change his life and change his perspective. And when we were there a couple weeks ago, he went into the conference that we had with a great hunger and saying, God, I need to be healed. What he said was he had cancerous looking moles on his face he was really concerned about, and pain in his wrists. And he said that during the conference he didn't feel much of anything. He just didn't really feel touched by the Lord. Kind of a bummer. But he said since then, just in these last few weeks, all the moles have fallen off his face, and all the pain is out of his wrist. And so that's awesome. At the end of the day, I don't care how God does it, as long as he transforms people's lives, and I'll take healing however he wants to bring it. And so that was really cool. Meanwhile, his wife got so blasted the final night, got so filled with the Spirit. She was intoxicated with the Spirit all the way home, even on public transportation. And the next day, she was teaching Sunday school class, laid hands on little kids in the Sunday school class, and they went out in the Spirit, got filled with the Spirit. There was a testimony of a little boy, I think it was 7 to 8 years old, who was in Sunday school class. The teacher, who had gotten so filled with the Spirit the night before, overflowed in Sunday school class, laid hands on him. He goes out under the power, and later on he shares that while he was out under the power, he had a vision of Jesus coming to him, Jesus telling him, I love you so much, you belong to me, and I want you to obey your parents. And for people who might be a little suspicious of that kind of activity, man, hey, seven-year-old boy who says, this is what Jesus told me, I love you, you belong to me, obey your parents. That sounds pretty biblical to me. I think that's awesome. And the father apparently was, I believe, a newer convert, and was very, very impacted by his son's experience. There was a pastor there who was greatly impacted. It felt like their heart was just healed up from some teaching on the Father's love. Just many more who were set free. Matter of fact, the family that I mentioned, the man who was healed in his wrists and from the moles in the face, their little 11-year-old boy, he got powerfully touched, especially the last night. But during the afternoon session before the last night, we did some teaching on healing of the heart, and he was really asking God for freedom, and in a very interesting way just got set free. He said all the anger that he'd been experiencing is gone. And so I just love it. There was more, and they told me that there's more testimonies yet to come that they want to pass on. But there were just a lot of testimonies that were diverse. There were just different expressions of the kingdom, different expressions from God's heart. And I love the diversity of those testimonies. So, man, I just celebrate that, want to pass those on. And God is so good. It was just wonderful. We had an awesome time in Panama, and I'm excited for what God's going to do in Colombia. And man, just celebrate the goodness of God. He is so good. He's so faithful beyond our comprehension. He is so faithful. So taking off here in a few minutes. We're getting close to the airport, so feel free to be praying for me. I'll be ministering all week in Medellin, Colombia. Love you guys, and be blessed.